Hey guys, welcome to a new video. Today I want to showcase a farming strategy. I mean, it's not my strategy, it's the same as like everyone is doing, but it's basically a Scarab farm strategy. You know, look at the map, it's nothing special. We use just one Delirium orb. I mean, you can use as many as you want in the end, but you know, one is enough. And then just a regex for at least 100% more Scarabs, so it's pretty easy. You hit a map like every 10 Chaos Orbs, so it's insanely easy. I mean, I don't care about any map mods, even like the Volatile Cores, you know, I can tank them, I don't care. Obviously, you have to make your own regex if there are mods you don't really want to run, but you know, at least 100 Scarabs and maybe 100% Quant, but I don't really care. It's pretty easy to roll the maps. Like I said, it's like 1 in 15 chaos maybe to hit one map, which is pretty satisfying because I remember back in the day when there were farming strategies where you needed like, I mean, I used sometimes 500 chaos per fucking map. So this was annoying. And being able to hit the maps in like 10 chaos now is pretty easy. It's a Scarab farm, which means maps per hour is the best profit, which means you have to have a strict loot filter. This is my loot filter. All the Scarabs you can see here are the ones I see in my loot filter. I mean, I see the Legion Eternal Conflict, and I think I see these two Blight Scarabs here. But because I blocked them in my Atlas, obviously, and yeah, the Harvest Scarabs here, but I blocked them in my Atlas, so they are empty. But this is the loot from 10 maps, so I guess if you count a Bloodline and Awakening drop, it's good. But obviously that was kinda lucky. But in the end, I think it's still a good strategy. I mean, thinking about the fact that I also got like 10 Fracturing Shards, you know, and some Divine Orbs and all the boss fragments I'm not counting in. Where are the boss fragments here? So even the boss fragments alone paid probably the map invest back. So I guess it's, you know, it's definitely not 100 divines per hour, but I think it's maybe still 20, 30, 40 divines per hour, depends how fast your character is. And if you have more Scarabs than me in the loot filter, which will probably be less maps per hour, you know, but maybe still more profit, I'm not really sure. I just hate clicking, I hate it. That's why I have a really strict loot filter, as you can see. These are the only Scarabs I see. But yeah, we are basically using 4 Harbinger Scarabs and a Regency to get the bosses nearly all the time. By the way, the title of my video says don't use the Nemesis Scarab, and I mean it. Don't use Nemesis Scarabs for Scarab farm because it doesn't work. The only reason why you would Nemesis is because of this mod, but it doesn't work. It's a bug. It's a well-known bug, but GTG doesn't patch it. Nemesis Scarab doesn't work with this Atlas node. It doesn't work, so you literally waste Scarabs. It doesn't work. It doesn't multiply the chance from the Nemesis Scarabs. It's a well-known bug. You can read it on Reddit, you can read it on MF Academy if you want. It's a bug. It doesn't get fixed or patched. So don't use Nemesis Scarabs. Use the Harbinger Scarabs like me. That's the only way to farm Scarabs. This is my Atlas. Nothing special. Every single Scarab node in the tree. No content. Only Eater of Worlds. You know, if you want Seeing Exarch, you can go for Exarch. It doesn't really matter. We don't take the pack size mods because you literally get maybe like 1 altar in 3 maps. Like, they are so rare with this strategy, so we don't really care. We want all the nodes to go into the Scarab drops. Obviously, we don't take any 100% more common because all options here are literally worthless. And that's why you also block all the content. We don't want them. I mean, I was thinking maybe unblock Harvest, because the Harvest Scarabs are kinda pricey, but I don't know. I think blocking everything is the best to get the Horn Scarabs. You don't really need, for example, to take these Harbinger nodes here, but I feel like, you know, we have like 17 Harbinger on each map, so I think it's a good chance to get Fracturing Shards, to get the Mirror Shards, and I think in every farming strategy you have to have a jackpot drop, and the jackpot drop would be a mirror, obviously. You know, a mirror shard transformed to a mirror orb, so through this node. I think every farm has to have this one jackpot drop, so that's why I'm using these nodes. But yeah, basic Harbinger Atlas tree. Like I said, a map, 100 more Scarabs, nothing else. Harbinger craft, Eder or Exarch, whatever you want. Fortress layout for the barrels, and you know, it's a close layout, it's the fastest, I think. Definitely the coolest one to run. And yeah, if you're playing Kinetic Blast like me, I see many people use like Fork, but Fork is pretty garbage, so use Chain, that's way better. Awaken a Chain like me, way better than Fork. Million times better, because you literally hit more targets. And you don't only hit more targets, you have like this off-screen clear, which is way better. But yeah, you know, obviously you go through the map, kill all the Harbinger. I mean, the volatile cores are pretty annoying. As you can see, there are insanely many rare mobs with Harbingers. That's why we abuse Harbingers for Scarab farming. Fracturing Shard, well, perfect, I guess. And yeah, like I said, there are like Scarabs everywhere on the floor, but obviously I have a good loot filter. I don't see all of this garbage, which is worthless. I only have, I would say, at least 10 Scarabs for one Divine in bulk, and everything over 10 is worthless, so that's why I only have so little Scarabs in my filter. I don't want to click. Clicking is a waste of time if you don't get enough money back. There we have a Bloodline Scarab, obviously this is pretty lucky. I wouldn't count that in my diff per hour because that's a pretty lucky drop, but yeah, I guess it's nice. And you really want to be able to kill the Fortress map boss. I know many builds can't do that, but you really want to, because the boss fragments alone pay the map invest back like 90% of the time, which is really insane. So you really want to kill the map boss. I have a pretty good build for it, I think. I mean, I really don't like the character because I think it's really slow. I'm used to faster characters. I really hate this build, but I can't really find anything else, you know. This build is still top tier, but it's not really fun to play. I mean, I'm kinda immortal, I have enough damage to do everything. I have like full screen AoE clear, I have 150% quantity gear kinda, which is also pretty good, like I said. Or, I mean, I have quantity gear, it doesn't matter, because Scarab drops are not, like, you know, player quantity doesn't affect Scarab drops, so it's still a real showcase, you know. I know I'm in Standard, I know I have quantity gear, but it doesn't matter. I don't get more Scarabs from that, so you can also play this in League, and it's even better if you use idols or something like that. Definitely also a good Headhunter build. I mean, I also have Headhunter auras up there, but that's my inspired learning, the Jewel. I don't like using Headhunter. But yeah, that's basically it. We run over the map, kill everything, and then we kill the boss. Like I said, you really want to be able to kill the boss. Yeah, it's definitely not the best character for single target, but it's working kinda. Look at this, 3 fragments already paid the map and probably the next map back. That's pretty decent. But yeah, and then you just, you know, take this Faustus guy. I never used him because I'm stupid, I guess. But you want to put him next to your chest, and then you can bulk sell all the Scarabs you want. So this is pretty easy. That's basically the farm. Like I said, don't use Nemesis. This is the important message of this video. Don't use this Nemesis Scarab because it's not working. You can Google it, you can read it on Reddit. It you know, GGG won't fix it. They don't drop a hotfix because they don't care, I think. I don't know. But yeah, don't use Nemesis for Scarab farming.